but no answers and such.
Yeah, nobody's home at Miss Eddington's.
No.
Probably home.
Who else is there? Ingerton's hard to get a hold of. You don't have an address for him or anything? It's not listed in the directory?
Still can't find that reporter.
You mean the detective?
Detective, yeah.
You guys didn't have any contact information for him anyway, so...
Well, we knew his name. If he was like a public person, we
Jake Wesson?
look him up. And
Yeah, you can look him up. You look up, let's see. Are you going to get him first, or do you want to look him up first? What's the call? Or do you want to look him up?
Well, I think we'll probably just...
I mean, they can just phone me.
I think we'll head back there before... I'll get back there at least.
They get back to your apartment.
And I'll be like, hey, get some rest today. We'll meet back. Father's feeling like about what you are, too.
Okay. How long do you guys want to go back to your humdrum lives? A day, 2 days? Right now it's Thursday, the 17th. When do you want to meet next? You have Sunday off. It's the only day that you have off, so just FYI. You work parts of Sunday, but you don't work much Sunday. Your mornings are morning Sunday.
Morning shift.
Up till noon, up to about 1 p.m., and then you're free the rest of the day if you want to. Your schedule is very, very flexible, and you would have Sundays off too. If you guys want to wait and meet on Sunday afternoon, you could.
I'm good with that. With the... what day is the...
What did you do to Miss Fairfield? Ah. Okay.
That could be handled in 3 days.
I'm going to stick that right here. Oh, do you know about this? Okay.
And I guess also I'd be trying to contact Sanderson because, I think that he might be able to get us into that file with the police chief, but...
Yes, Sanderson has been apparently super, super busy.
He's been out and about.
Yeah. Sunday is May 20th. Okay.
What's the busiest day at the Carnival?
Weekends, you would guess busier than rest of the time. And in the summer, it's almost every day because you got some people coming from out of town, you would guess. You got kids off from school. It's May. School won't be out till June. Public schools. So, where do you guys want to meet on Sunday? I mean, you can make phone calls and kind of arrange.
I don't know about the cemetery.
I probably won't.
Well, you have a house.
Mm-hmm.
You have an apartment. You have a terrible apartment. Yeah, just to meet to kind of get together to decide.
I don't mind people.
You could go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
You could go to a diner. You have an apartment. But, you have a room in a boarding house. You have a little tiny room.
Yeah, I certainly. I don't mind people.
Well, in the parlor.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest people meeting at my place.
I don't think the girl's talking about why I have 4 men in the parlor with me.
That might be a little awkward, yeah. When? Sunday afternoon?
Yeah.
What time?
I can swing around 1:30.
Okay. Yeah, you guys meet there. It's a really nice house. Furniture's kind of generic-y. You know what I mean? But otherwise real nice. There's a lot of crucifixes on the walls. Otherwise very nice furnishing, very nice house. It's set up very nicely. You'd have sitting rooms, parlor, stuff that quite a few like rooms downstairs where you can meet with people. Dining room, dining room, kitchen, sitting room, parlor, probably a study. Although that could be upstairs if you wanted it to be.
Yes.
So where do you want to? You're hosting. How do you want to handle this?
Well, I would certainly have people meet in the parlor.
Okay.
1:30-ish.
Okay.
1:30.
Everybody shows up. You're all there.
I'll have I have coffee if you guys want some coffee, or something a little stronger.
Coffee will be fun.
Good old Catholics, man. Hey, they can get it.
I don't feel right about keeping all this brandy, Father. Could you take it for me?
Certainly.
Priests get gifted a lot of liquor. At least they did when I was a kid, so.
Yeah. Stock bar.
There you go.
So, feeling much better today. Thank you all for waiting. So, does anybody have any idea what happened that night? nothing at all. All I know is
About
that...
what we saw or what happened after?
I mean, I just feel like I need someone else's opinion to piece everything together to make sure that I'm not the only person who experienced this.
Well, I don't have an incredibly logical explanation other than that. Something very strange and outside of our normal realms are happening underneath the carnival.
Wouldn't be the first time.
That's Carnival. It seems such an unholy place.
Is it actually called the Dark Carnival, or is that the...
No.
Okay.
It is the North Star Pleasure... No.
Pleasure Pier and...
The North Star Amusement
Pier.
Arcade and Pleasure Pier.
Yeah.
So
'Cause there's a pier that goes out in the river. It's got a restaurant on it.
I wouldn't have recognized the guy from the carnival who was speaking to everybody.
Yeah. Several of them recognized the voice.
The voice.
Well,
But considering the franticness that was going on in the darkness, you probably wouldn't see anybody go, like, oh, I knew who that is.
Yeah.
So, Becker recognized it. Joel, you recognized it. Other people who aren't here recognize it too.
So I want to just go over what I experienced with
Okay.
everybody.
So is this kind of an information dump?
Yeah.
You're all just comparing notes?
Yes.
Yeah. So that would bring you up to date with all the information that these two have
Okay.
as well.
I can tell them what happened to Huxtable.
Right.
I was about to ask, why haven't the cops done anything?
I think he's asking.
Oh,
You're the one that read the police report, remember?
I'm just a secretary.
What happened to Dr. Huxtable? Didn't he go and tell the cops?
I don't know. I got out of there as soon as...
You got a little time.
He was out of there before we even got out.
So he went back, and they found nothing. Did he go to the right grave?
Knowing him, I hardly know.
I mean, I just met the man, but, you know, it's not much to go off of after just a few hours.
The name on it was just John Smith, so,
There's a lot of John Smiths.
I mean, there's a possibility, too, we have to keep in mind that maybe it's a grave that's written differently on the, manifest that the cemetery keeps.
Or they might have, there was a lot of them. They could have moved a gravestone.
A lot of them.
Let's leave it at them.
Yeah. I just can't imagine what kind of person you have to be to align yourselves with those things you saw.
Well, in any case, there's a child missing, there's a girl missing, and a man without an arm because of this, so...
And weren't there others missing?
Yeah, we
And looking at the
discovered...
police file, this has been happening. This is not...
This is nothing new.
This might be a,
So it's as far back as
more
1917.
frequent than it's been before, but this is not a new history of occurrences.
Has anybody seen the private eye? I was meaning to ask them if they could get us an in with the police chief.
His office has been silent. I've been checking up every once in a while. Nothing.
Yep. You were able to find the office location in the telephone directory. You go visit it. Nobody's there. It's locked up. You could have visited it several times in the last few days. It's always been closed up.
Knowing that he went off and saw the darkness and Milo separated from him, then I'm not sure we can be very optimistic about that.
Well, all I know is that if nothing spiritual is going to be done about this, then you probably just have to take it into your own hands.
That's kind of what I'm about.
So, I guess I'm going to be on the side of if I believe that God would just allow this to happen, then it's up to me to just kind of do something myself. If I'm feeling pessimistic about this.
I'll make it stop.
Yeah.
I'll do your work, God.
I'm like, fine,
You suck.
I'll do it. You can't trust me.
Yeah, you've been having a pretty big moral and spiritual crisis.
Yeah.
Your sermon this morning they were pretty bad.
There were, people were like, what's wrong with the father?
Don't question the phone. What the fuck?
I was talking about baby deaths a lot. Like,
So, can I have, in light of all of this, prepared some holy water?
Mm-hmm.
to take with me just to make
There'd
myself
be-
feel better?
You'd have a ton of holy water run in and around the church.
Yes.
Give me a luck check. How about that?
Sitting at 1920 super soaker.
Oh, man.
No.
No.
Okay. You used to have a vial of holy water blessed by the Pope a long time ago, but it was used at some point for something. A special funeral or a special baptism or something like that. It was used.
Pope died, became worthless.
It lost its power.
I don't know about
Not
that.
even Pope anymore. Well, this is worth.
I don't know who the hell the Pope is right now. So anyway, so you have access to plenty of holy water,
Okay.
crucifixes that have been blessed.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of? You have the sacrament.
Mhm.
Allegedly, I don't know if anybody has a cult. Does anybody have a cult? Any points put in a cult?
I actually do.
Okay.
Oh, I have a
Allegedly, back in the day with vampires, that you could seal them in with using the sacrament, the bread,
Mm-hmm.
because it's blessed as well. You know, that kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
supposed to have powers against according to like stories and shit, witches, vampires, that kind of thing.
I mean, after what I saw, I believe it would probably work.
Okay.
So
So yeah, you have access to all that
Best to
stuff.
give it a try, I suppose.
Pope Pius the 11th.
Ah, there he is, Pope Pius XI. Damn, when was he Pope? Do you remember the dates? 1928. There were a lot of Piuses.
1922 to 1939.
that would do it.
Would be Pope XI. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't have that anymore.
Hey, you used it for a very good cause. It was for a very.
ultra holy water.
Yeah, but now I'm going to be stingy with my holy water.
Okay. Make your own.
So, someone probably told me that they believe that the voice that they heard came from one of the mustachioed men from the
Yes.
carnival.
Yeah, Ricker, you heard that guy's voice, and Joel dealt with that guy briefly too.
Okay.
This guy,
I know I've seen him around the fair.
come to the fair. Yeah, that guy who was always—he's one of the barkers who runs around between,
Barkers.
who goes between all the various attractions and tries to get people to come in. There's several of them. There's several different barkers.
Okay, does anybody know anything more about this man? Just that he works at the fairgrounds.
Here's me to preach.
Get some people. This guy real close to Susanna would be like, oh yes, yes, right in her face, like uncomfortably close. And yeah, creepy guy.
Signs that people love.
So-
Maybe.
There was also a crowd with them, which makes me wonder, is everyone, or even a group of people at this carnival involved with this?
Oh, do you want information dumped to them about what you guys have learned about the carnival?
Yeah.
About the owners, Wilberforce Wyatt.
Yeah,
You think Ingerton has talked to him, but he talked to him in private, so you don't know what the hell went on there.
yeah, just even outside the game, I don't really know much about the carnival.
No, that's okay. You probably
Everybody-
never went up there. I mean,
All the
yeah.
carnies live there. They have houses out in the back.
There you go.
I've been to. They have a barn out there,
Yeah.
which I didn't really think much of before, but now I'm like, why do they need a barn? It might just be for storing stuff.
Well, there's the ponies. They got the pony rides, don't forget.
Yeah, I guess.
And then there's what's her name, Emmanuel. Here. There we go. Emmanuel Vasconcelos. Amazing trick riding. So they probably have a few horses for that.
So maybe that's just a storage thing, but
And there was a building with you could smell food. It's probably some kind of cookhouse.
and also
And there's a really nice house back there too.
I've been thinking, we went into the sewer, right,
Mhm.
and we left through that entrance into the graveyard. Where did the other people come from? Which means there must be some other entrance in there, unless they all crawled through the sewer. But
There were
I don't think we
those,
have any evidence. To
those
suggest
three
that.
entrances on the other side of, I'm going to just call it the pond. And then the side where those things were. But there was also another direction that we didn't go.
And that's where they came
That's
from.
where they came from.
So that makes me think that maybe there's an entrance into that place
Further down the line.
further down the line, or that you can get in through the carnival, because if these people are working for the carnival, they're not going to crawl through the sewer every time. And they certainly didn't come through that graveyard entrance this time.
So all I can piece together, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that these people who work at the carnival are taking individuals and sacrificing them to those demons that we saw in the caves.
That seems likely, but I don't know how they're doing it. And that slime that we found, we don't have any connection with that in here either. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's stuff that Dr. Huck's did.
But why did they need us? Like, it was asking us specifically to bring it to them. I don't understand why that was needed. Why they needed our help. So there's some connection.
I do believe they said they weren't allowed to get them, but if no one was looking, I don't see why they couldn't do it anyways.
So there's some connection between the people working the carnival and the things underneath the cemetery.
I suppose so.
What do we want to do about this?
Miss Fairfield, Mr. Bricker, I first met you when we went into that dream place, and it seemed like you had some prior experience. Do you have anything similar to this? Any of your ventures?
I just need the info dump last how many sessions?
Florida.
The whole Florida session.
I don't know. I don't know what all Bricker's done. I could look it up. And same with Fairfield.
We definitely them.
It was after Furious Driving.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You were involved in Furious Driving.
Yeah.
Bricker wasn't.
Bricker wasn't. He was right after that. It might have been Florida.
Florida was
No,
your
there
first,
was a
though.
session before that though. Because Bricker was established before then.
We'll look it up very quickly. I have a table of contents thing I can look up.
Pour me a glass of scotch and take it all in.
4 glasses of scotch. I'm gonna need this.
Furious Driving was a little game.
Comparatively, yeah.
Comparatively.
Okay, let's see. Furious Driving. The Strange Case of the Brown Mountain Lights.
Oh, that was what it
North
was.
Carolina.
Oh, no.
And then Florida. North
Yeah.
Carolina, Florida. You were both started, no. And Furious Driving for you before that because you were taking photographs of all the terrible things and the picture of the freaking burning house. So, what do you guys want to tell them? Who asked that question? Was it Joey? Oh, it was you? Okay. What do you want to tell them? You can
We might as well just tell
you
them
could summarize.
Yeah.
It would probably take a couple hours to tell all the stories all the way through.
Let's sum up.
Yeah,
We're
the
gonna
So,
need more
the
coffee.
shoveling
do you want to start with Furious Driving?
Oh, Furious Driving. That was just kind of weird.
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. You can go straight. You can start with Brown Mountain Lights.
I mean, did I really think it was like mythical?
It was weird, yeah.
It was
You don't know.
weird.
If you don't think it applies, then don't bother
It's
talking
basically
about it.
carrying, or like driving a car.
Yeah, but in comparison, it doesn't seem that like. I mean, it was like kind of the start of everything, but at the same time.
For you, it was totally the start of
Yeah.
the what? So it's up to you, Ashton, if you want to mention that, or if you want to start talking about the Brown Mountain Lights. And do you guys want to like say everything, like be totally just okay? Here we go. And
Here's
just go.
pictures.
Well, nothing came up
There's
with
pictures
that.
I took, but there's nothing in them.
Yeah. Some people standing in a lab of some kind, apparently around something that you can't see. Wait, what?
He has that key thing.
With
Yeah,
you?
no, not
No.
Probably tucked away, hidden in your room somewhere.
with a bear.
Do you guys want to like info dump everything from
Yeah.
Brown Mountain Lights forward? So the basic story is that they were down in North Carolina, and this kid went missing there too. And they went to find him, and there were these magical gates that could go. No, they went down through. We went down through a cave that led to strange hexagonal-shaped caves lit in a way that, like plants that seemed to be the layers of some kind of creatures with wings and glowing heads. That.
But thank you for taking your brain out.
And then there were these like patterns on the walls that you could go through that would take you to other places, and some of them went back to get some more gear and weapons, and when they got back, the person they were with, do you want to mention his name?
Yeah.
William Avery Rockefeller, who is one of the Rockefellers that lives in Providence.
Yeah, Rockefeller.
Had gone off with these creatures, and they had taken his brain out and stuffed it into some kind of metal tin. And they could talk to him. They could talk to his brain. And so they had fought the creatures, and they defeated all but one, and they got that creature to put his brain back in his body. And his servant had died. His butler had died. And so they found another body, and they replaced the brain in that body from the dead guy, so he's walking now too, allegedly. And then they left, and they hope to never see these things again. But weird stuff has been happening to Bricker. Seems like he's been harassed at his place of business, and Miss Fairfield has dealt with some weird stuff happening too. And then Bricker inherited an estate in Florida, a big house. Do what?
Inheritance.
Yeah.
That's trigger word.
Yep. And so they went down to Florida to this.
Dog barks outside.
What kind of weather we got today? Oh, there is a little thunderstorm today. As you guys are talking, there's thunder and lightning outside. And rain is coming down.
God was not pleased with that sermon.
Damn! And they went to this town. It was called New Dunwich. And it was kind of weird. They only saw one person there, and the house was in shambles and apparently haunted because all this weird stuff started happening. Bricker got pushed down the stairs. There were noises. There was words appeared on the walls and get out. The what moved?
The photographs.
Yeah. Somebody looked at a photograph, and the photograph looked back.
I got attacked by a
The
Civil War
sticky
uniform.
well.
Yeah, that's right. This all sounds unbelievable and insane, to be quite honest, guys.
The dead body in the shed.
There was a dead body in the shed. It was pinned to the wall. It had a big spike. No, it had a hole where all of these lines were coming out of it. Then they went to talk to the guy who was the only one they had talked to before, and they found he was in a bathtub full of formaldehyde. And then he sat up and tried to kill them, and they blew him to pieces. And then the rest of the villager inhabitants attacked them a few nights later. They couldn't get out of the village. They didn't have a boat.
We saw undead in that house too, didn't we?
They
Or was
also-
that another
Yeah,
house?
What house?
The house with the guy.
Crap, what's his name?
Oh yeah, you guys killed a bunch of them that were in a room just
Yeah, it was
lying
5 or
there.
6
They
in a
rushed
row.
in and they just blew them to pieces with shotguns. They just people that were
Well,
already obviously
I
dead,
passed
but
out.
still sat up. Oh yeah, you fainted. It was the smell. Anyway, they couldn't get away because their ride went away in the boat and said he'd be back in a week, so they were kind of stuck there. And they didn't know where they were. It was in the frickin' Okefenokee swamp, and they really were not sure how to go about moving about the swamp without a boat of some kind. So they had to wait. More weird haunting things happened. Then they heard singing one night, so they decided to investigate, and they find this horrible, horrific, giant thing coming out of this pond. It was bad, and they all ran away. And eventually this other guy showed up. He's like, "Oh, I'm here." It was a black man who said he had come with the boat, and they went to talk to him. They followed him, and then they were attacked by all the other residents of the town. Yes, the entire village tried to grab him, Papa Job. So later they went and investigated Papa Job's house, and there was
And he had
walking
put a
scarecrows, and yes,
Including
and
one
he hit
that's-
you with a spell that shriveled you.
Wrinkly.
That's why she looks like
Including that one
she is.
scarecrow that kept chasing me all over the place.
It wouldn't go away, and she just is like, when he's talking about it.
So you've been hit by a shriveling thing?
Yeah, he did something to her, and all of a sudden she was filled with pain, and she looked older. It took her several
Just slightly. I only
several
lost
weeks.
1 point of appearance. But
Did you? Okay. Took you some time to recover, though. And after that, the ghosts seemed to disappear. Yeah, these two. After that, the ghosts seemed to disappear. After they had wiped out all the things, the horrible monsters, and then the guy came back. And then Nigel notes that when he left, he just kind of threw the deed to the house at the guy before they left that town.
What's
Yeah,
that guy's name? Arvin?
Arvin or Arvin,
Yeah.
something like that. I've got it's written down.
That guy.
And then the whole dream thing happened, where guy from Dexter Asylum came to Joel and said, "I've got this weird piece of writing, and it seems to be a house in Providence. It's coming from this guy who's writing in the asylum. Can you go just see if, I'm scared to go there. And they went and they found this spot on the bed that looked like there was somebody laying in it. It was warm and it never got cool. And so they found a lead that led to his friend and then to this Chinaman who had sold him some kind of substance to put him to sleep, and so he could enter the dreamlands. And so...
We saw a little girl, Jojo.
Do you bring that up? That's not really related. Oh, they saw Lily Mitchell, who was kidnapped about 1.5 years ago by this Quincy, Washington gang of women, and then escaped, and then there was another attempt on her. Anyway, that doesn't seem to really relate. You're not sure what's going on with that, because none of you were actually there for that. Anyway, so they actually entered with the help of this psychiatrist.
Like when we talked to the Chinaman, they're all scared of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Some little tiny pygmy Chinaman or something. So, are going on in the Chinatown. Anyway, so they found a psychologist who could help them get into the dreams, and they went, and that's what Joel was talking about earlier, with some kind of creatures and a trolley, and they managed to escape back to the waking world, and Joel was a little traumatized by that whole situation. And there, boom. That's like information dump that would take till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and you guys are like, however you want to react to that.
I'm just angry that these things are happening, because after what I saw, there's a lot of it that I would believe, where normally I would think, nah, that's dumb. That's real dumb.
Yeah, just 3 days ago, you probably would have been like, these people need to talk to somebody. But after what you've seen, you're like...
That's what you need.
You're still out there doing this shit after all this?
But it's really pissing me off that these things are allowed to happen, and they shouldn't even exist in the first place. Where is God? Is what I'm thinking. So, I want to put a stop to whatever's going on. This is just too much for me to take.
Well, it's very dark out because even it's early afternoon, you have this thunderstorm going outside.
Well, thunderstorm. There probably won't be many people at the Carnival at this point. Monumental attractions.
I don't know.
Have they seen their faces though? Like the carnies?
I mean, if there's any roller coasters, they're probably...
I mean, we were in the bed like it was too dark.
The best guess you might think, you were the last one out, right? Running away from the graveyard before Ingerton and James.
Yeah.
Last you remember, James was still like hanging on the ladder, and some lights shined up at him. You know what I mean? Like flashlights from below. They might have seen James. Milo. They might have seen Milo. Ingerton was always kind of like this in the grave before you took off.
Yeah.
And he was talking back to him. Remember? I think you stayed long enough to hear him be
to hear that, and then I just bolted.
Yeah. Because you left before he fired the fucking flare that caught one of the zombies.
But they would have seen us a little bit down in the cave, wouldn't they?
You were across that huge area. You couldn't recognize any of them over there. The same conditions applied to both sides. It's not like you were shining a flashlight at Joel.
Yeah.
You were shining a flashlight
at Well, no,
around.
I mean, not like by like physical appearance, but like my guy's really tall.
They might have an idea
recognize
on...
me by that.
Maybe. You're doubtful. You wouldn't recognize any, except for that dude whose voice you recognized. Yeah. You have no fucking clue. All you saw were shadows. Because as they came, you guys left immediately. Mm-hmm. You don't think you would recognize any of them, except for this guy, except for Boom.
Yeah.
And you don't think any of them would recognize you. Unless they can see in the dark. Like, it's daylight. Then maybe. But...
Okay.
We don't know how much the devil things really, like, care about human features, like, notice them. Because they didn't even know if we were part of that group or not. Whenever we met a person, and they were like...
No telling.
Why are y'all down here? Like, you want to get some food?
Yeah, no idea.
We're hungry.
You have no idea.
So from your stories, it sounds like when there's this group of people who are, doing these things, it's not very easy to just
You guys wiped out New Dunwich. It's
Oh, yeah, we wiped
done.
out the entire
There's
town.
nobody left there, you don't
Or at
think.
least we're
Most
not.
of the buildings are burned down.
Most of the buildings, yeah, they
Oh,
burned
yeah,
down
we-
almost all the buildings. I forgot about
That
that.
one house.
The one house wouldn't burn, it just smoldered.
Yeah.
The
And your
formaldehyde
house.
blew up
You left your
so
house standing.
bad.
The formaldehyde house they lit on fire. Jesus
That
fucking
thing
Christ.
exploded.
I'm surprised nobody died there.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. It
How
was
close
like,
do you wanna
back
be?
up more. No, back up more.
I'm gonna get behind a tree.
I want to get
All
behind
these
the house.
splinters in the other side of the tree, and he's like, Jesus! I think freaking Virgil just ran away. He's like, fuck this!
We aren't really equipped to take on, like, we have, what, you have a gun?
Also, I don't think we could just walk into the carnival toting guns.
No, you couldn't. It'd be like walking around town with a gun on your shoulder.
Yeah, so
Cops
what
would
is
call.
it? Are we? What is it we're trying to accomplish through going there? Are we just trying to